Welcome to the Today in History channel. In today's video we will talk about the day, May 27, 1924. Millôr Fernandes is born, Brazilian cartoonist and writer. Irony and satire were the great weapons of this Brazilian designer, journalist, playwright, writer and translator. Milton Viola Fernandes, Millôr Fernandes, was born in Rio de Janeiro, in the Méier neighborhood, on August 16, 1923. However, his birth registration would take place on May 27, 1924. Orphaned by a father at the age of 1 and a mother at the age of 10, he worked very early. In 1938 he got his first fixed job as a medicine delivery man. He liked to read Flash Gordon comics, which he copied. On March 15 he went to work in O Cruzeiro, a famous magazine of the time, where he went through various functions. Millôr considered his entry in the magazine as his debut in the activity of a journalist. He worked on O Guri, publication of the Diários Associados, translating comic books from English, a language he learned on his own, which demonstrates his great self-teaching. He understood, however, that he should become a professional by enrolling at the Lyceum of Arts and Crafts, in Rio de Janeiro, where he studied from 1938 to 1942. Millôr wrote theater plays, such as A Woman in Three Acts, The Size of a Deceased, Handsome as a God, An Elephant in Chaos, and Pygmalion. He wrote screenplays for films, Love for Three, 1960, This River I Love, 1962, Chronicle of the Beloved City, 1965, and The Boy and the Wind, 1967. In 1959, he presented on TV Itacolumi several programs called University of Méier, in which he commented while drawing. The program went to TV Tupi with the name 13 Lessons from an Ignorant, censored after a criticism made to the wife of President Juscelino Kubitschek. An article about corruption in the media ended his only week of work in the newspaper Tribuna da Imprensa. In solidarity, the editors Paulo Francis and Mario Faustino resigned. Millôr's concern with valuing freedom in his works leads him to several conflicts in the newsroom of O Cruzeiro. In one of them, during the editorial reform implemented by Odilo Costa Filho in the early 1960s, he heard that he would be given complete freedom, to which he replied, "Odilo, you will forgive me, but no one can give me freedom. You can take it out, but you can't give it." The fervent defense of the integrity of his creative space culminated in Millôr's departure from the magazine. He also worked for Veja magazine, published by Editora Abril. Millôr was also an essential contributor to the satirical newspaper O Pasquim. In the first issue, in June 1969, he prophesied that if this magazine is really independent, it doesn't last 3 months. If it lasts 3 months, it is not independent. He was portrayed 3 editions later, and from a faithful collaborator he became one of Pasquim's main forces, as when a large part of the collaborators were arrested by the dictatorship, and he took over, practically alone, the editor of the entire newspaper. In 1976 he wrote the play A, for the great Brazilian theater artist Fernanda Montenegro. This would be his greatest theatrical success. At the end of the dictatorship, in 1982, he resigned from Veja, due to political differences. In 1983, he started to collaborate with Isto magazine, and, in the following year, with Jornal do Brasil. In February 2011, Millôr was admitted to Clínica São Vicente, in Rio de Janeiro. His serious condition of health was kept in discretion by the family. On March 27, 2012, Millôr died in his apartment in Ipanema, due to multiple organ failure and cardiac arrest. The fact was only released to the press by his son Ivan the next day. A great Brazilian intellectual emerged from life, who defended freedom of expression in Brazil with his art, including through one of the greatest popular icons of the press against the dictatorship, the newspaper O Pasquim. He wrote, "To live is to draw without rubber," and a phrase that illustrates his intense work life: "Whoever kills time is not a murderer, but a suicide." Did you like the video? In the description you will find the blog link with the full article. Give an incentive by subscribing to the channel, liking, commenting, and sharing with your friends. Hugs. Until the next.